Addie Deal didn't just arrive in college basketball quietly. She stepped into a spotlight that was already waiting for her long before she even played her first game at the collegiate level. Her name had been circulating in basketball circles for years, attached to rankings, scouting reports, and expectations that painted her as one of the most promising young talents of her generation. By the time she officially took the court, many fans already believed they knew who she was going to become, and that level of anticipation made every move she made feel bigger, more important, and more closely watched. She grew up in a household where sports weren't simply an activity. They were part of the foundation of everyday life. With parents who had strong athletic backgrounds, she was constantly surrounded by the mindset of discipline, competition, and perseverance. This environment didn't just teach her how to play. It shaped how she approached challenges, how she handled pressure, and how she understood the value of hard work long before she ever reached a national stage. From an early age, it became clear that she possessed something different. It wasn't just about scoring points or making highlight plays. It was the way she understood the game. She showed a natural ability to read situations, anticipate movements, and make decisions that many players take years to develop. Coaches quickly realized that she wasn't just talented. She was intelligent on the court, and that combination made her stand out even among other top prospects. As she progressed through high school basketball, her reputation grew at a rapid pace, turning her into one of the most talked about players in her class. National rankings consistently placed her among the elite, and major programs across the country began to take notice. With every game, every tournament, and every standout performance, her name gained more recognition, and the expectations surrounding her continued to rise. But her journey was never a straight path upward. At one of the most crucial stages of her development, she faced a serious ankle injury that threatened to slow her progress and disrupt the momentum she had worked so hard to build. For a young athlete with so much potential, moments like these can be defining, forcing them to confront uncertainty in a way they never have before. Instead of allowing that setback to derail her, she used it as an opportunity to grow in ways that went beyond physical ability. The recovery process demanded patience, discipline, and mental strength, challenging her to stay focused even when she couldn't compete. It was during this time that her resilience began to take shape, revealing a level of determination that would later become a key part of her identity as a player. When she eventually returned to the court, there was a noticeable difference, not just in her performance, but in her mindset. She played with a renewed sense of purpose, carrying the lessons from her recovery into every game. That experience didn't weaken her trajectory. If anything, it strengthened it, adding depth to her journey and making her even more prepared for the challenges ahead. Her commitment to the Iowa Hawkeyes women's basketball marked the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with both opportunity and pressure. Joining a program with a strong legacy meant stepping into an environment where expectations were already high and where fans were eager to see the next generation of talent rise to the occasion. Transitioning to college basketball, however, is a challenge that even the most gifted players cannot avoid. The speed of the game increases, the competition becomes more physical, and the margin for error becomes smaller. For Addie, this transition required adjustment, forcing her to adapt quickly while still trying to stay true to the style of play that made her successful. In the early stages of her freshman season, she experienced the reality of that adjustment period. There were moments where she looked exactly like the player people expected, confident, composed, and capable of taking over stretches of a game with her skill and decision-making. During certain matchups, she delivered performances that reminded everyone why she was so highly regarded. Whether it was scoring in key moments, making smart plays under pressure, or showing flashes of leadership, those games offered a glimpse into what her future could hold if everything came together consistently. At the same time, inconsistency became part of the narrative surrounding her early college career. Like many freshmen, she had games where things didn't go as smoothly, where timing felt slightly off, or where the intensity of the competition challenged her in new ways. These ups and downs are a natural part of development, but under the spotlight she was in, they became talking points. This sparked ongoing discussions among fans, analysts, and commentators. Some remained confident that she was simply in the early stages of a journey that would eventually lead to stardom, while others questioned how long it would take for her to fully adjust and reach her expected level. The reality is that growth at this level rarely follows a perfect, predictable path. Even the greatest players have gone through periods where their potential and their performance didn't fully align. For Addie, this phase is less about proving whether she can succeed and more about refining the details that will allow her to do so consistently. What makes her situation particularly compelling is the level of attention she receives. Every performance is analyzed, every statistic is examined, and every moment on the court contributes to the narrative being built around her. This level of scrutiny can be challenging, but it also reflects just how much people believe in her potential. In a program that has recently seen the rise of iconic players like Caitlin Clark, the question of who will carry the torch next is unavoidable. Addie Deal has found herself at the center of that conversation, positioned as one of the players who could help define the next era. Being seen as a potential future face of a program brings both excitement and pressure. It means being looked at not just for what you are now, but for what you could become. For a young athlete still finding her footing, that expectation can feel both motivating and overwhelming at the same time. Yet, despite the challenges, there are clear signs of progress. In certain moments, everything seems to align: the timing, the confidence, the execution. And she shows exactly why so many people are invested in her journey. Those flashes are enough to keep fans watching closely, waiting for them to become the norm rather than the exception. One of the most important aspects of her development is how she handles adversity. Whether it's a tough game, a missed opportunity, or external criticism, her ability to stay focused and continue improving is what will ultimately determine her trajectory. Off the court, interest in her personal life continues to grow as well. Fans are increasingly curious about the person behind the athlete, wanting to understand the experiences, influences, and mindset that shape her approach to the game. This growing curiosity adds another dimension to her story. It transforms her from just a player into a figure people feel connected to, someone whose journey they want to follow not just for the highlights, but for the full picture. What stands out most throughout her journey so far is her resilience. From overcoming injury to navigating the challenges of her freshman season, she has consistently shown a willingness to push forward, even when the path isn't easy or straightforward. Her story remains unfinished, and that's part of what makes it so intriguing. She is still in the process of becoming the player she is capable of being, and that sense of potential keeps people invested in what comes next. For some, she represents the future of the Iowa Hawkeyes women's basketball program. For others, she serves as a reminder that even the most highly anticipated players need time, patience, and experience to fully realize their abilities. There is no question that she has the tools, talent, intelligence, work ethic, and the lessons learned from adversity all point toward a promising future. The only remaining question is how and when those elements will fully come together. As her journey continues, the anticipation only grows stronger. Fans are watching closely, not just to see what she does next, but to witness the moment when everything clicks and she steps fully into the role many believe she is destined for. And that is ultimately why Addie Deal is trending. Not because of controversy or sudden drama, but because of something far more powerful: possibility. The sense that something special is developing, even if it hasn't fully revealed itself yet. Her journey is still unfolding, filled with challenges, growth, and moments that hint at greatness. And if you want to follow every step of that journey, every breakthrough, and every defining moment, make sure you stay tuned and subscribe to Celescore TV, because this story is far from over.